Folks, if you happened to notice a bunch of naked people marching down the street buck naked, what would you do? Perhaps call the cops? Full frontal nudity is illegal after all, but when my guest alerted law enforcement to such a display of public indecency, he was told there was nothing to see here whatsoever. Because apparently when it comes to the LGBT, etc. community, it's one law for thee and one law for me. Joining me now is Rob Primo. Hi, Rob. How you doing there? I hope your eyes have recovered from taking in that impromptu sausage fest. But tell me, I thought we're all supposed to live under one law here in Canada, but apparently that isn't the case, correct?
Yeah, that seems to be correct. I was under the impression that we all lived under one law and followed the same laws, but it seems to be that there's this protective banner right now through diversity, equity, and inclusion that protects a certain class of Canadians to behave a certain type of way.
Well, you know what, Rob? Before we get into the crux of the matter, let's throw to your phone call that you made to 911 and basically the very ho-hum nonchalant response you received from law enforcement in regard to that display of public indecency. Here we go.
Ask a police officer a question.
Sure, one moment.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Hi there. I was just looking to ask an officer a question. And then I got forwarded to you. Is there, I just want to make sure I'm not working outside of any laws or anything like that. If you want to be out in the street, you have to be fully clothed and you can't be naked or anything like that, right?
Well, I mean, there are naked people running around on the street.
Okay. But is that against the law?
There'd be some mental health issues.
Oh, okay. I agree with you on that one. I'm having a hard time. Yesterday, I seen a bunch of people naked in front of children and police officers, you know, seeing men with their penis out in front of kids. And I'm just wondering if that's acceptable.
Was that part of the Pride, you mean? Was that on the weekend?
Yeah, I was at the Pride Parade.
Yeah. So that's always the issue then each year. Yeah.
What's the issue with that? Sorry.
Well, I mean, that happens every year.
Oh, so like it's kind of like it's okay for when it's at the Pride Parade, but not in other situations, obviously.
Exactly. I would say so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Well, first of all, Rob, I sure hope that that cop that was speaking to you doesn't get suspended or terminated for talking about mental health issues. But indeed, I mean, what kind of frame of mind do you have to be in to think it is absolutely A-okay to get rid of all your clothing, march down the street where there are children present? I don't get it, Rob.
Yeah, I don't get it either. You know, I don't understand how anyone who's an adult would be comfortable, taking their clothes off and being in front of a child in the nude. I know I certainly wouldn't be able to do something of that nature. And it really makes me question what the motive is exactly, because, in my eyes, it's completely wrong.
And Rob, here's something I've been asking this question for a couple of decades now, even to those in that LGBT plus community. What does nudity have to do with pride? You know, if I'm proud of something in my life, maybe it's something my sons have achieved, maybe it's buying a brand new car that I've lusted after, I don't take off all my clothes and go running naked through the neighborhood. So again, what is the connection with members of that community celebrating pride, and that therefore means you go buck naked?
I'm trying to find that correlation myself, and it doesn't seem like this is a one-off, as I live in Niagara and we had an incident like this happened a few weeks ago as well. And I thought, maybe this was just something that's being overinflated on the internet. And that's why I started to keep my eye on these events that were taking place. But it's definitely not something that's just hyperinflated. It's something that's replicating itself across the country and in America as well.
You know, Rob, a couple of months ago, we were tipped off by a police officer at the Toronto Police Service. It was about the now mandatory transgender training all the police officers have to take, and they have to pass with 100%, or they have to redo the test. And basically, the theme that emerges is that trans people are not worthy of equal rights, but rather of special rights. I'll give you a quick example. A trans man, meaning a woman who is identifying as a man, when you are incarcerated, and I have been as a political prisoner in my own country, I can tell you, you lose your necktie, your belt, your shoelaces, anything that can be weaponized, anything that you could use to hang yourself. But some of these trans men, evidently, they have a dildo in their underwear. It's not considered to be a sex toy. It's considered to be a gender-affirming article. That's the term. And they are allowed to bring it into the cell, even though it clearly can be weaponized. So I think we're going down a dangerous route here, Rob, based on gender identification, sexual orientation, and what have you. It is two different laws. And I'm sorry, that's not the way the law of the land should work.
No, not at all. It's definitely seeming like in Canada, we have a complete two-tier system right now. And the police, I speak with police often in confidence, and they are very scared to lay charges on individuals who are acting in this type of way because they know that these people are going to use the banner of diversity, equity, and inclusion as, you know, this righteous thing that they have that empowers them and enables them to just get away with breaking the law and doing whatever it is they want to do. And these police officers, they just don't want to get canceled.
That was an excerpt from the Ezra Levant Show. I'm Ezra Levant. Every weekday, I do a monologue about the topic of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest either in studio or via Skype. And then I read your mail, whether it's fan mail or hate mail, which is sometimes even more interesting. This is on our premium service, though, called Rebel News Plus. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. It's $8 a month or less if you buy a whole year in advance. You get my show every weeknight, plus Sheila Gunn Reid's show every week. It's called The Gun Show. It's pretty amazing. You know, we rely on you because we do not take a dime from the government. In Canada, that makes us almost unique. So please help us out and help yourself to some great journalism at rebelnewsplus.com.